Hello there. It may be hard to believe this, but an entire art form might not be where it is today if it weren't for one man. Every animated film in existence can be traced back to the incredible wizardry of Winsor McCay. Without McCay, there would have been no Walt Disney, no Fleischer Brothers, no Termite Terrace, no UPA, and no Pixar. He wasn't the first person to tackle animation, but he was the person who showed you can make endearing characters and tell interesting stories with it. Winsor McCay made his big break in the world of comic strips, particularly with Dream of the Rarebit Fiend, in which various protagonists are transported to strange dream worlds after eating some toast. Through these comics, McCay presented some rather surreal images long before Salvador Dali popularized that movement. However, a lot of these strange, for the time, imagery would prove to be a major influence down the road. You can point to one such story here as to where the concept of a giant monster destroying the city originated. However, he would immediately follow it up with his most endearing comic creation, Little Nemo in Slumberland. Another comic strip exploring the worlds of dreams. This one actually took a lighter approach than Rarebit Fiend, though still with the occasional darkness lying underneath. The drawings are absolutely stunning, and are just as much to marvel at as the stories. The colorful set of characters also further add to the appeal, including the troublemaker Flip and the childlike King Morpheus. Through Nemo's adventures, McCay got more and more creative. It's no surprise that the comic continues to inspire and awe to this day, even leading to a troubled but nonetheless quite underappreciated animated feature in 1989. It was Little Nemo that inspired Walt Disney to become an artist, and so without this wondrous strip, we would not have the likes of Mickey Mouse and other fantastic Disney productions. Little Nemo will definitely stand as one of the best comic strips in the history of the medium, and really showcases some of the best of Winsor McCay's work. After that legendary contribution to an art form, he moved on to another one and forever influenced the world of animation forever. His first such effort was a short 10-minute film that showcased what it took to create animated drawings come to life, and offers an interesting behind-the-scenes view into early 20th century animation techniques. In this film, he also brought his Little Nemo characters to animated life, and you really see the early fundamentals of classic character animation here. This was followed by another breakthrough with How a Mosquito Operates. Though a simple storyline of a mosquito trying to feed on a sleeping man, Winsor McCay actually managed to bring a personality to this insect, and actually create tension and suspense through this situation, however comically it may end. However, his biggest achievement came with a prehistoric animal. With Gertie the Dinosaur, McCay presented a fully living animated character on a static background, a feat that hadn't been attempted before. Originally, he interacted with it in stage productions, but when he made a short film of this act, it would live on forever, and animation would never be the same again. This short had humor, heart, and presented Gertie as an actual character, not simply a series of drawings. McCay had Gertie do multiple activities, and this is even more impressive when you consider that this is 1914. The use of keyframe animation remained a standard of the medium, and while it wasn't the first animated film ever made, this is truly where the history of animation as we know it begins, with this dinosaur and its massive appetite. However, McCay didn't simply stick with funny animals either. He then created a short film highlighting the recent sinking of the Lusitania to drum up support for World War I. This time McCay went for a more realistic approach, since this was meant as a documentary rather than a comical animation, and it certainly created the right shock needed from the audience. He also started adapting his Dreams of the Rarebit Fiend comic to animation, with one story, The Pet, about a growing dog, and another, The Flying House, about a couple whose home rises from the ground. I wonder if that later influenced some animators down the road too. Bill Plimpton recently restored this short, showing how McCay's work is that influential with animators. Needless to say, animation would not be where it is today were not for the brilliance and innovations brought about by Winsor McCay. Thank you, sir, very much.